It's another bright new week, which only means one thing. More Zetsubou Sensei. Which usually comes with its own trials and demerits, but fun to watch, even at the destruction of the world itself. Which of the characters are going to be brought down a rung or two? It's going to be interesting to find out, because it's mostly every single one of them. And then a few more that just happen to be along for the ride. If we're not getting some subversion of expectations, we're getting changes in voice actor and animation. What other kind of medium changes are they going to thrust onto us? There can't be that much left. To find out, we have to watch it. So strap in, get yourself a drink, and let's begin. Oh no, baseball. It's where he seems to have the entire area to himself. Until it loses trajectory, smash him straight in the forehead. Thanks for that. To be fair, having a ball hit you in the face would probably startle you a little, but I don't think it means reaching out and crying for a hug. So, this is an episode on imperfections, intentionally changing things to get a desired effect. Bhutan. Is anyone actually listening to him? Does anyone ever, actually? I think having these kind of thoughts is pretty usual, but not really vocalized out in public. Especially in Japan, they can probably be looked at with a bit of ire. But much like adding a filter to make a film look old, what has been implemented today for us that we have to look out for? Is this now going to get into more personal merits, whether emotional or physical traits? Honestly, every time I check and see how many series Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei actually has, I'm kind of shocked. Cool character card with how is this detuning? What you just... in a late night, and now we're just getting to get what? All of them? Home run, another splintered cranium. Oh, it's a good thing that you're not beautiful, right? Yeah, keep... least we say about some personal detuning, the better. Cooking oil. Right. It's a tough ask, always looking good. This seems like a very upstanding gentleman. I would have expected nothing else, actually. Where else are they going to be? This is, yeah, their mecca. That's an interesting way of putting it. But keep telling yourself that. Whether intentional or just after the fact. Detuned the cabinet. Of course. So we went from intentional to just justifying failure. Fair enough on that one. Oh, not the Defense Force. The amount of times that he has had extra parts and lines. That's a potentially good way of looking at things from now on. It's no longer personal flaws or failures, no, just detuning. One that doesn't need airs or needing to... Not even need any sort of copyright free versions, no, just the DS. Is it hailed as art? What's wrong with New York? If we're now talking about... No, they're just bandages. Detuning, right. A certain person I can think of that would enjoy that. Well, until it gets the truth exposed, at least. But we were told before she only wears the bandages because, you know, for a bit of attention. Most of the injuries are long healed. Efficient. Can she ever just let loose a little? Not be so highly strung? I see. Yeah, that works. You might want to sharpen the knife then. Some things you don't want to know. The fact that they can easily switch it and make most of the characters be some sort of psychopath. Did it need the Nyan? I mean, it's all for... Really? The Basic Instinct leg turn. Anyway, it's all for reference and practice for her drawings, is it not? That's because less and less people actually care about fraud, unfortunately. A victim, yes. Fraud? Oh. What will people say? Yeah, it's great, thanks. Two, when it comes to haircuts. I think in anime, those noises, anime form, hairstyles can be whatever you want. But if you saw someone like that in reality, that would probably require a double take. Mini propaganda. How are we going to mix the uniforms and mini propaganda together? Will that get past the school board? It might work, but much like someone trying to pretend to be a delinquent to avoid trouble, someone be going the opposite direction. You know, you got to push boundaries, see where the limits are. I mean, it works. Not sure why you would want to, though. No. Well, to be fair, there's several... Just convince yourself until it becomes true. A lie told often enough. But much like certain graphic novel artists who've made a career for themselves with no knowledge of how to actually draw, naming no names, of course. Medax. How many times was he told that? Yeah, Zetsubou Sensei's fine. What is this? Well, mob justice rules after all. If enough people say it. Colorized despair. Maybe it's not all so bad. For several reasons, no. And if all of them disagree with his statement... Oh god. He was drawn into it far too quickly. Peer pressure is one hell of a thing, isn't it? So this is the way this show ekes its way forward, is it? Of all the characters, how many of them are waiting in the wings with a knife? What would count as normal? There's one of them very enthusiastic. Acquaintanceship. That one works. Never. It seems like a lot of work. Is this the one that is immediately dispelled? And just like that, her entire world is shattered. Some things cannot be put forward through enough confirmation. Oh, okay, she doesn't need a crowd to agree with her. The voices, that says it's fine. Dig a hole deep enough and yeah, everything becomes okay. Not sure that's a lesson we want to learn. I wonder why... Yeah, I wonder what her criteria actually is. Since Since when has it always been self-study? Oh, it's time for him to skip off some work. Don't try and make this poetic. Yeah, you're on a trip. Go wild. Then how do they ever get any business? I remember there being a pub in, well, where here actually, that I used to frequent. You could only get in if you were taken in there with a member. How did the first person get a membership? The one person in the crowd went, hang on a second. Finally, someone interrupts him. Right, but now it's got so complex and diluted that... Diluted is definitely not the word I was looking for. I mean, Zetsubou Sensei is a show I would say that anyone can jump into any episode and be just as confused as if you started from the beginning. And if only we could stay a little bit... Oh no, not that face again. Why are you staring? What's with the typography in this center of the... Well, off-center of the screen? Absolutely not. Turn around. The problem is, are they going to have any return customers? I see. You don't know me. It's clever, right? Finally, someone that understands. One that could be a sign for the masses. So, how long is this customer going to be? I mean, she doesn't like BL stuff, right? That wasn't the entirety of her, like, own episode. I think there's more than one. I mean, some of these aren't exactly hidden in some of the puns and wordplays. Is there going to be one which is confusing for him? Yeah. It appears somewhere every time. Yeah, the less we say about that dog, the better. Yeah, how many more in-jokes and obligations are there going to be before the end of the series? A good question. Are they also going to point out all of the problems with this show? Who would have thought that there was a manga for it? Did you get sued for the logo? Excuse me. This is a cult show. If you don't like it, get lost. What a great message. That goes for you too. If you're now turning around to never watch again, let me know down below. Is this where too much knowledge and detail comes out? He knows too much. This is where you're... Oh yes, there it is. Now we can move on. The 40th time panties are shown in this episode. How many jokes and plot lines are dropped, never to be mentioned again? Are there any plot holes that need filling? Oh no, we're going onto the forums. Yep, if you chase away all of your first timers, and you kill off all of your regulars, what's left? Hate watchers? This works as well. Absolutely not. Not unless I'm forced. Oh, wait. Do not look on the shelf of stuff that I've given up, stopped halfway, lost interest in. I like the music. Oh, is this the ending? The heavy shadow art style. The initial artwork isn't immediately so divergent from the usual style like the last ending, but some of the extra detail in the facial figures and lines, I wonder if they're going for a certain style or a reference. I'm not sure it's completely necessary to go to the almost like Addams Family-esque creepy factor of it all, but we've got a Jekyll and Hyde type transformation. To be fair, that could be any of the characters we have in this show. That was a experience. Do they? As long as you have enough people behind it, yep, ignore everything. Don't have to pay your taxes either. Oh, continue. That was your instant continue. Is this the apology for it all? Here is a ill thought out plan. I pandered to the masses. How many Hollywood directors are shouting that? I would like to say that this show is a nice and easy watch because you can just sit down and enjoy the insanity, much like some of the other shows like Nishijo or Joshiraku? Is that what it was called? However, much like the latter, this requires a little more paying attention. You can't just zone out and then still get by with what you're seeing. So many in-jokes and references that are brought back for later on, or even later episodes. yes, I've noticed the reoccurrence of the stork, the chopstick dog, etc. Maybe if I had started a counter, like a little tally chart every time that they appeared in the episode, we could figure out which is the most prevalent, or if indeed there is one per each, if not multiple. Certain one would be winning out though, and I think we all know which it would be. How many lawsuits do we have against us now? I really don't know anymore. Having my own personal understanding of how society and people work being shaken to its core. Of course, I'm lying here. My own sense of self-worth and understanding of the world has been detuned to such an extent I'm accepting pretty much everything now. It's fascinating, really, that I've been following that way of thinking for so long, especially with this channel. It's all intentional. It's not awful by just personal merit. But the jokes of just keep saying it's fine until it becomes such. How often throughout time has that actually happened? I've seen especially when I was growing up, hairstyles and fashion, I look back now and go, what the hell was that? I'm glad I never actually bought into that nonsense. The problem with so many people saying, yeah, that's fine actually, joining on along with it. It's almost like permed hair or mullets back in the 60s? 80s? Just remember the hairstyle my dad used to have and I laughed my ass off. But the idea that Zetsubou Sensei itself isn't a show for the first time as a newcomers or the overly zealous and religious watchers. No, it's somewhere in between where you just kind of enjoy it, but you're not too fussed on the details. The kind of perfect centre point where you don't pick apart the show and point out its failings quite so much. But still enough to go and buy the DVD. Help out the studio. If only someone helped me. That's the issue of our times, isn't it? So much nonsense on the internet, how am I going to stand out? Maybe with some more Zetsubou Sensei. So if you enjoyed this one, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing so that you don't miss out, no matter how pandering I may become. And also, there is my Discord, which you can jump onto as well for any notifications, things that change, or just a general hangout. Maybe some votes every now and again when they show up as well. If that takes your fancy, check the description. If not, well, just settle down and join me again for the next one. So get some rest, because I want to see you there.